Hello friends, welcome to our channel. Today, we've brought a very special story for you, a story that might just change the way you think. It's simple yet powerful, and if you listen carefully, you might find answers you've been looking for. So, let's get started without wasting any time. Have you ever noticed that the more you chase something, the further it seems to go? It's a strange but true fact of life. It's almost like the harder you try to grab something tightly, the quicker it slips away. When we stop obsessing over outcomes, many times what we truly desire comes to us naturally. Zen and Buddhist teachings also guide us in the same way, that when we hold on too tightly to results, they slip away from our hands. Life flows better when we move with it, not against it. When we let go of expectations and just live in the moment, new paths start opening up by themselves. It's like the fog clears on its own when the morning sun rises. There's an old saying, those who cling too tightly lose everything. Those who welcome with open palms receive it all. This old wisdom forms the base of today's story. It's a story about change, surrender, and the power of letting go. A story that reminds us that real growth happens when we trust the process. A long time ago, in the middle of tall mountains and deep forests, there lived a young monk searching for wisdom. He was determined and hardworking, often spending hours in meditation, trying to empty his mind and understand the mysteries of life. Every morning before sunrise, he would sit by the river and close his eyes in deep thought. But strangely, the harder he tried, the more peace seemed to slip away from him. His heart was full of hope, but his mind was full of doubts. It was like chasing a butterfly. The closer he got, the further it flew. One day, while meditating near a waterfall, he noticed the water flowing effortlessly, without force. The water didn't fight, didn't stop, it simply flowed with ease. It danced over rocks, slipped through cracks, and kept moving forward no matter what. Seeing this, the monk realized that nature moves without clinging or resistance. But realizing it was easier than living it. He felt a deep understanding inside but struggled to apply it in his daily practice. Despite knowing this, he started meditating even harder, forcing himself to sit longer and concentrate deeper. He believed that if he just tried a little harder, peace would come. But the more he pushed, the more restless his mind became. Frustration grew in his heart like a creeping vine. He wondered if he was missing some secret method. His heart craved peace, but his mind fought back. One evening, his master came to him and said, "Your mind is like a clenched fist. The tighter you grip, the more strength you lose, and the less you gain." The master's voice was gentle but filled with wisdom. He smiled warmly and added, "Would you like to hear a story about the art of letting go?" The monk nodded eagerly, feeling a spark of hope inside him. He sat cross-legged, ready to listen with full attention. The master began the story. There once was a farmer who was desperate for rain. Every day, he prayed, built canals, but no matter what, his crops withered. He grew more anxious and desperate with each passing day. One day, a wise sage visited him and said, "Stop running after rain. Focus on nourishing the soil and caring for the seeds. Leave the rest to the sky." The farmer listened, changed his way, and something magical happened. He simply took care of the soil, nurtured the seeds, and one day, without warning, rain came. His fields turned lush and green overnight. The farmer was amazed and asked, "How did this miracle happen?" The sage smiled and said, "When you stop trying to hold the sky, it blesses you freely." It was a moment of realization for the farmer. A deep peace filled his heart. He understood that trust and patience create the space for miracles. The master looked at the young monk and said, "Don't cling to peace like the farmer chased rain. Meditate with love, not with desperation for results. The fruits will come naturally when the time is right, not by force. Hearing this, the monk felt a mix of relief and confusion. He understood, but also knew the journey ahead would not be easy. Inspired by the story, the monk tried to separate himself from the desire for results. But letting go was not a simple task. Even while meditating, questions kept creeping into his mind. Am I doing it right? When will I find peace? His mind felt like a restless ocean, unable to calm down. Every day was a battle between hope and surrender. Yet somewhere deep inside, he knew that true change only comes with patience and trust. One day, he saw a butterfly struggling to break free from its cocoon. He wanted to help the butterfly to free it quickly. But his master stopped him and said, "If you help, the butterfly will never learn to fly. Struggle is necessary for it to grow strong." This small moment taught him a huge lesson. He realized that wisdom can't be forced, it must be allowed to unfold naturally. You can prepare the soil, but the flower blooms on its own. He changed his approach to meditation after that. Now, he sat not to achieve something, but simply to live the moment. He stopped worrying about whether he was doing it right or wrong. He let each breath be enough in itself. Slowly, he noticed his breathing became deeper, his thoughts quieter, and his heart lighter. The battle inside started to calm down. He wasn't waiting for results anymore, he was just enjoying the journey. He became like the flowing waterfall, effortless and natural. Each day became a celebration of being alive. A sense of deep contentment grew inside him. One day, while meditating, he experienced a profound peace. It felt like the whole forest had merged into him. It was not something new entering him, but something he discovered had always been within. The realization was both humbling and empowering. He saw that searching outside was never needed. Everything he sought was already inside him. When he shared his experience with his master, the master smiled warmly and said, "Peace arrived when you stopped chasing it. Remember, the journey matters more than the destination," the master added. The monk nodded, feeling a new sense of understanding bloom inside. He realized that rushing ruins the beauty of the journey. Patience makes every step richer and more meaningful. The monk asked, "But why is it wrong to want results?" The master replied, "Desire is not wrong. Attachment is the problem. If you try to hold water tightly in your fist, it slips away. But if you keep your palm open, it stays. Life flows just like that, gently and naturally. It teaches us to trust, not to control." To explain it further, the master shared another story. There was a young archer who desperately wanted to hit the bullseye every time. He practiced day and night, but the more he tried, the more he missed. One day, an old archer told him, "Relax your grip, breathe steadily, and release without fear." The young archer listened, and soon, his aim became flawless. He learned that less force and more trust bring better results. From this, we learn an important lesson. Too much tension clouds your vision, but surrender sharpens your focus. Life rewards those who flow, not those who force. The young monk deeply absorbed this teaching. He saw that this wisdom applied not just to meditation but to everything he did. He started living with a new lightness in his heart. When he planted gardens in the monastery, he simply enjoyed working with the soil. He didn't worry whether the flowers would bloom perfectly. When he taught younger monks, he focused on the joy of teaching, not on their success. Every action became an act of love, not of expectation. Gradually, he realized letting go was not giving up, it was working wholeheartedly without clinging. This mindset brought a beautiful freedom into his life. This change made his life richer and more joyful than ever before. The other monks noticed his glow and calmness. People started coming to him for advice, eager to learn his secret. He would often smile and say, "The more you chase results, the further they run away. Just live fully now and trust that everything will fall into place at the right time." One day, a young monk asked him, "Should we stop setting goals then?" The wise monk smiled and replied, "Goals are like stars, they guide you but are not places you reach. The magic is in the journey, not in the destination." This way of thinking changed the way many monks lived their lives. Life, he explained, is like a dance. If you only focus on the final move, you miss the beauty of each step. Similarly, when you stop worrying about results, every step becomes joyful. You start seeing magic in small things. But letting go isn't easy, it requires constant practice. It's like learning to swim. At first, you struggle, but soon you float effortlessly. Many people would ask, how can we let go of something we love deeply? The master would gently explain, letting go doesn't mean you don't care. It means you love without fear, without holding too tightly. Love becomes purer when it is free. True strength lies in trust, not in control. He often said, "You cannot calm disturbed water by beating it. You must allow it to settle on its own." This simple truth applies to our minds too. Peace cannot be forced, it blooms naturally when we stop interfering. Patience is the real key to inner calm. One day, the master conducted a small experiment. He filled a bowl with water, placed a flower petal on it, and asked the students to remove it without disturbing the water. The first student hurriedly dipped his hand, the water splashed, and the petal sunk. The second tried gently, but still created ripples. Finally, the master tilted the ball slightly, and the petal floated to the edge. He lifted it without spilling a drop. "This," he said, "is the art of letting go. Force will only mess things up. Patience and harmony with the flow bring true results." Everyone was amazed at how such a small act carried such a big lesson. They understood that real mastery lies in gentle action. Life responds better when we respect its rhythm. Over time, the master noticed that those who clung tightly to results often burned out. But those who let go lived freely and creatively. They enjoyed the process and celebrated small victories. The master once gave an example of a potter. At first, he wanted to make the perfect pot, but the harder he tried, the worse it got. When he simply enjoyed playing with the clay, beautiful pots started forming naturally. One night, while looking at the stars, the master said, "The universe moves at its own pace." When you stop being desperate for outcomes, you start dancing with life's rhythm. And that dance is where true fulfillment lies. Even if results don't come, trust that something bigger is at work. Life always knows what we really need for growth. Letting go, the master taught, demands great patience. Just like after sowing a seed, you must wait for the tree to grow. You can only water it and nurture it, you can't force it to sprout faster. Growth is nature's work, not ours. Trust the timing of your life, he would often say. Everything beautiful takes time to bloom. In the final days of his life, the master shared his ultimate wisdom. Life is like a river. If you swim against the current, you'll tire out. If you flow with it, the river itself will take you to your destination. Trust life. Trust yourself. Let go, and you'll find everything you seek already within you. His teachings lived on for generations. They became a guiding light for countless seekers. They reminded everyone that true success comes not by clinging but by surrendering. And that is the heart of today's story. I hope you enjoyed listening to it as much as I loved sharing it. Remember, the real treasure is always found within. If you liked this story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Click the subscribe button below and also press the bell icon so you don't miss our next video. Tell us in the comments which story you'd like to hear next. We'll meet again soon with a new story and new ideas. Until then, keep smiling and keep growing. Thank you.